Alright guys, what is up? It's Karina here from the University Rebel, and I have a special guest today. His name is Domino. He has created his own podcast called Domino Effect. I mean, he has so many episodes. He talks to people from all different types of walks of life who are just out there hustling on the grind, doing their own thing. And I got the man here himself. So he's going to talk about how he started his podcast, a little relevance within his school journey, and how school didn't necessarily correlate over to how he's a successful individual today. So we're just going to dive in it real quick. So Domino.
What's up?
Let's talk a little bit about why even podcast? Like, why did you even get into podcasting? You could have gotten into videography work, you could have gotten into anything. So why did you get into podcasting?
Why get into podcasting? Basically, I like to talk shit, right? So I'm not the nigga that sits online and sits on Twitter or Facebook. Like, I can't type with my thumbs and just like, I want you to hear me type of thing, right? So what better to do than a podcast? But you know, at first I was I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know what to do. I just know I wanted to talk to people, and I don't have a degree in that. I don't have any background. I just know I just want to get my personality out there. I want to get my opinions out there. So, you know, naturally, you know, you want to go to a podcast. I had the app on my phone for so long. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I didn't know what it did. I just know that, you know, I'm researching. Can't get in the radio without a degree. You need 4 years of this. You need to do this, that. All right, podcast, you can just create on the fly. You can go on YouTube, get some equipment. You can rent out a studio. You can do it on your phone. You can just have a podcast, just you talking to a voice note and whatever. So, you know, I don't know. It was just something about podcasts that was just easy. It's easy for me to get my voice out there without having to go through all these different channels and have to go through a lot of people. Like, I can do it on my own, and I can just talk shit. Like, it's no holds barred. It's mine. I can talk shit about whoever, whenever I want. Like, it's that's what it is. Like, I just enjoy it.
Right. So it was pretty much like a vehicle for you to vent, give your opinion, and, you know, say, this is Domino, this is what I think about how the world is going today and everything else like that.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I just can't hold stuff in. Like I said, I'm not that nigga that types. Like, I need you to hear what I'm saying. I need you to hear how I say it. I need you to hear how loud I say it. I don't want to be, you know, pigeonholed to like 140 characters or something like that, or like a Facebook post that only like 3 people read or something like that, or like 2 people like. I need a vast audience. I need something that's going to reach around the world and click like, oh, this nigga got some crazy opinions on stuff, or he say something wild, or hey, whatever gets my personality out there, whatever. I like to entertain people first and foremost. Right. So whatever get my personality out there, whatever entertains people, I'm with. So that's it.
No, I feel you on that one. But when it came to, obviously you want to get your voice out there, you want to get your opinion out there, but sometimes it's hard to get listeners, it's hard to even get the brand out there. Like, how did you get Domino Effect out to the public where you have, you know, a pretty good audience that tunes into you and your team?
First and foremost, when I started it, you know, I posted here, there, you know, a couple places. A few people listen. More than likely my friends, right? So my friends listen, they give me feedback. I'm like, oh, if you can do me a favor, you can share that, put somebody else on. Word of mouth is the fastest mode of transportation. So if you want to tell somebody about it, cool, I appreciate it. Then they put somebody else on. Yeah, but you hear this episode where they was talking about this, or when he said that, and then, you know, it keeps growing and growing from there. And then as we invite more guests on, you know, you get their listenership, their viewership, and then, you know, you gain some of their fans or whatever, and that's how it just spirals from there. Because at first, I thought we was shit. Our first episode did like 1,000 listens. Really? So I was like, yo, we here, yo, it's popping. Next episode, 90. I thought we was it, then I had to humble myself, I had to bring myself down and go like, all right, relax, okay? It's just popping as you thought. I didn't know where them 1,000 listens had came from, but then when I got 90 on the second episode, then like 80 something more on the third episode, and it jumped to like 110 on like the fourth episode. It was like, all right, so we just had like a decrease of like 90% of like what I thought we was gonna do, but it's just about having something that people enjoy and that entertains people. You gotta know your lane. I'm not the political guy. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about all the social issues. I'm here to make you laugh. I mean, maybe give you some insight on how my brain works, maybe my opinion on this situation. you know, if it's something you rock with, you're going to tune in every week, you know, but if it's not, you know, so it's a million other podcasts out there. The podcast field is growing every day. So, you know, if mine don't work for you, I could put you on to somebody else that maybe you would like.
Right.
You know, I'm not, you know, you don't just have to listen to me. You can listen to whoever you want. I can put you on whoever.
So, right. When it comes to doing the podcast, you say like you just generally express yourself, you got your stuff out there and going. But let's talk a little bit about, let's turn the conversation just a tad bit, and let's talk a little bit about your reality with school versus your reality with real life, which includes your current job and includes, you know, you podcasting and branding yourself. How was that transition when you realized that it don't always work like that?
Since I was young, I never knew what the hell I wanted to do. So it was like, you know, I want to play sports, I want to get into radio, I want to do this, I want to do that. I never had a concrete decision on what I wanted to do. So, you know, you get to high school, and you become like a junior, senior, that's when you got to start doing the college applications. So I'm applying to colleges, I don't know what I want my major to be. I don't know what I want minor, I don't know what the hell I want to go to school for. So it's like you applying to colleges, and you don't want to go to college just to be on campus. You want to actually be doing something productive. So what I did, I went to school for what I was actually good at. So I was good at computers. So I went to Gibbs College in Norwalk. I went there, I got a degree in computer network operations. And I used that degree for a little while. It got me working at Cablevision. And I was in the tech department. You know, everybody would call in like, yo, my computer don't work, the internet's down. I would help them with that, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't nothing I really wanted to do. But then, you know, it clicks one day like, what are you naturally good at? What do you naturally enjoy? I was just good at it. That's why I did it. Easy. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. I can't sit in front of a computer screen all day and just be typing. And I can't. I could do it. I just want to.
Right.
But it was just the fact of I needed, you know, some type of income. I couldn't be sitting on my ass doing nothing. I wanted to be doing. I gotta keep moving. I gotta be doing something.
Right.
Even though that's not what I really wanted to do in my life. I'm not a 9-to-5 nigga. Like I cannot be in this. Just wake up, go to work, do your work, come home, and repeat. Like,
You're like, I gotta do this for a certain amount of time. I'm gonna get something to eat. I'm gonna run back to the crib real quick, take a nap, and then like come back and then do everything else.
It becomes mundane. It becomes like I'm on autopilot at my job right now. Just I'm in this schedule, this constant loop. When I get a day off to do what I want to do, whether it be work on a podcast, whether it be, you know, doing something with music, doing something with poetry. When I'm doing something I want to do, that's when I'm the happiest. But when I'm back into that loop, I gotta go to work. You know, go to work, do the work, come home, eat, repeat, sleep, whatever. It's just, I can't, it's boring. Like, I don't know how motherfuckers live like that. Like, I can't do it. Like, I see my mom, you know, my mom actually likes what she does, so it's cool for her to work a 9-to-5. I gotta use the creative side of my brain. I can't do it. I cannot be a 9-to-5 dude.
Right. Right, and the skills that you're developing is now necessary because the world within itself is changing. It's really not 9 to 5, let's clock in, let's clock out. It's like, what value can you add to the table, especially in technology, that's going to make a business thrive, and what value can you add to that business?
Right.
You know, so also, you do work with the mail carriers for right now. Is that industry being automated in any sense? Like, you know, I feel like it might be, but I could be wrong.
I mean, if it wasn't for like Amazon, you wouldn't have a job as of right now. That's what I think. You know, it's a lot of things that go into like the postal service, or you know, it's nothing exciting. Like it's people at the post office that have been there for 30 years, 40 years.
Wow.
Like they're gonna retire there, but they're like 60, 75. I think the oldest person that just retired was 74 years old. He's been there since he was 21. That's crazy. I mean, of course he takes his money, you know, he can buy a house, he can go on vacation, he can do this, but I don't think he has any businesses. He's been working for the postal service for I don't know how long. Like it's just, he's been working for somebody else for that long. Like I can't do that. Like why would you constantly build someone else up and not have anything to leave for your kids? You're just gonna leave them like a check, and then hopefully they start something like that. Why don't you leave them a business or something to start? Why don't you leave them some type of equity in something? Why don't you leave them something that has your name on it instead of like, oh, your dad worked at this plant or he worked at this building for however many years. There's a plaque with his name on it. Like that's it. That's all you got to show for your 40 years, your 50 years of working there. No, I'm good. I can't do it.
No, I agree with you because it's not appealing to me either, and that's why I personally left, the traditional route, because I knew going through the cycle that once I graduated, I was going to be like $35,000 in debt.
I'm still in debt. I ain't paid one time.
Really?
Sally Mae kiss my ass.
You had to put it on hold for a minute?
It ain't even on hold. I just don't pay.
Now, do you think, serious question, this is something I've been thinking about. Do you think that when kids go in at 17, 18 years old in college, do you think they have any intentions to even pay it off? Or do you just think they're forced into it and then they'll just figure it out at the end?
I don't know. They might have the intention to pay it off, they might not, but it's just the fact of, like, at 17, 18, you really, it's very few kids that know what exactly they want to do for the rest of their life. A lot of kids go into college just spitballing, like, yo, this looks interesting. I might want to do this, but it's a bunch of ifs and maybes. Nobody knows what they want to do. So for you to go to school, I don't really think you need school in this day and age. Like, you can learn everything through like YouTube or just making the right connections and talking to people.
Right.
Like, you don't need school.
Right.
But as far as like do they want to pay that off? Nobody wants to pay somebody else. I want to keep my money. It's my money. I want to give it to somebody else.
Right.
I mean, of course you gave me an education, but it's still my money. I want to keep my money.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because the degree used to be an asset, something you put money into, and something you went out into the world, and you paid that off like 3 times over.
Right.
And you still had your money. You can, if you were smart, you could put your money in other places.
Yeah.
Now it's like, in a sense, it's kind of like a liability because kids are coming out and they're not paying their loans off until 20, 30 years later because they have to sit and still be adults because they can't stay at home forever. You have kids. When we were, our parents were younger, they were moving out at 21. You know? We're moving out at 26, so we're most definitely behind the curveball. But another thing, we're gonna stop it right there with the school stuff. But I want to just jump right back into the podcast really quick and just explain a bit on how your team, like how does your team really build liveliness within the podcast?
Well,
everybody has a different flavor.
Everybody has a different role. So basically, I got together. Two people. I got with 2 people that, one is my boy X, and usually when we have conversations, it's just me and like this certain group of friends, like me and him against an argument, and we just never agree on the same shit. Like we can go outside, I can say the sky is blue, he'll tell me it's like some aquamarine shit. Like I'll say like, this rapper's better than this rapper. He's like, yo, you bugging. So I thought that dynamic would be cool on the podcast, and then my homegirl Nikki, she's real like flower child. She's real into like stones and like spirits and shit like that. So I was like, all right, so I need a female with a wayward opinion, and I need somebody that I can like go back and forth with. So that dynamic on the podcast, it kind of works. From time to time, it comes to like we really have like an all-out discussion about something. It's rare that we all 3 agree on something, and I just like that we can have a conversation. Like it's just not everybody just saying, oh, I agree. It's like, no, I gotta play devil's advocate. So what if you spin it like this, or I have my opinion on this? I don't see it the same way you do. It's cool to have everybody from every walk of life come onto the show and just give their opinion. But those 2 are just the 2 constants where I can just. I know if I say something, I know that they're not going to agree with me. Like all for, because I know my opinion might be wayward, it might be out here, it might be so left, but then I know he going to come with something else, and then she going to come from this angle, and it's like, yo, it worked. I don't know, it's just something that worked.
People like not the bickering, but they like the differentiating.
Yeah, like they like the opinion, like I never looked at it from this point of view, or I agree with him, but I don't agree like 100%, or she's bugging. I don't know what she's talking about. But it is what it is. Like it just works. It's a cool dynamic to have. Like it's just something that flows.
Right.
It took us a little while, but
it's something that flows. Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. That's like me and the Daydream team. It's like I'll see something one way, and then Christopher sees something the other way, and I'm like, whoa, like we're just like sometimes.
Yeah.
Not that we clash, but sometimes our brains are kind of wired differently. So he'll think that I'll think the same way as him. I'm like, I don't think the same way as you. So we see things.
But y'all can give y'all two opinions, and y'all can respect each other's opinions, and
Right.
meet some type of middle ground. That's
Right.
for us. It's like, yo, I don't agree with your opinion. I respect your opinion. I don't agree with shit.
Right.
But you know, that's what we want in the podcast. If anybody agree, that should be whack.
Right. Yeah. Everyone would be holding hands and be kumbaya.
Yeah, I want that shit. Now, hey, you wrong. Fucking talking.
But real quick, what was your best episode? Like, what was the episode? And I'm not necessarily talking about viewership exclusively, but what was the best time that you had on your show so far that you can think of?
Like one? Shit. First one that comes to mind, I don't know what episode this is. It might have to be episode 47, with this dude, Anthony Flamia from Yonkers.
Mm-hmm.
He's a musician, but he's like a one-man band man.
Right.
So he was on Vine. He made a couple vines that went viral, stuff like that. And he came to the studio and he brought this machine called a looper.
Mm-hmm.
What this nigga did is he used his voice to make the song. So he would make like the bass line. He would make the hi-hat with his mouth, and then he would sing a song that he like just wrote. And that shit bugged me out to see that in live time. Like, it's on YouTube, and if you listen to the episode, you can listen to all the sounds he did, and he did the background vocals, he did the high, the lows. Like, he did all that shit in my face, and I was just sitting there in awe, just, yo, what the fuck just happened? I didn't know what happened. And then, like, you don't expect somebody to come and just drop that type of bomb on you, because I knew who he was. I saw him on Vine. You know, he's a great musician.
Right.
But to see it in person, like you 3 feet away from it, like that's wild. And I don't know, y'all go on YouTube with this shit. It's crazy. That shit is wild.
Right. Well, you gotta give me the tag to the video so I can throw it at the bottom of the link. So,
Yeah, definitely. Right?
so we can hear what this guy's doing.
Crazy.
Gosh. But one quick question: sometimes with podcasts, you don't necessarily. Sometimes people who have podcasts, they don't necessarily stay on the podcast forever.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to a point where Domino Effect has a lot of viewership, the whole Connecticut-based knows of you, even the tri-state area, do you feel like you'll manage the podcast and maybe you'll hop in for a couple of episodes while you build other stuff for yourself, or do you want Domino Effect to be your main gig for right now for the rest of your life?
As far as I plan on having this podcast for as long as possible, because if I get into any other forum, I can't be 100% me. This is the only forum where I can be 100% unequivocally me. I can say what I want, whoever I want, when I want. Like, if you go on the radio, obviously you have like certain artists that you can't say certain stuff on the radio, you can't cuss on the radio.
Right.
TV, same thing, you can't cuss, you can't, you gotta follow the format. Podcast is my format.
Right.
Nobody can take that from me, it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I can say, I'm not gonna be like, if I was to reach some type of like ultimate success, I would, be traveling or just be doing something else. I can't say that I'll totally give up the podcast because I need an outlet to express myself.
No, not to give it up.
Yeah,
but just to be like,
but like I won't be as frequent with it or something like that.
Cool.
But like as far as of right now, I don't see myself giving it up. If Nikki leave, if X leave, I'll be there talking shit to myself. I'll talk shit to whoever listens. I don't give a fuck. So if you want to tune in to hear me just rant about what's going on in the news, whether it be Trump, whether it be something local, whether it be something I'm going through personally that I just need to get off my chest that somebody else could possibly relate to, hey, podcast's gonna be around. It don't matter.
Right.
It's always gonna be around for me. Like it hasn't steered me wrong yet. That's my release from just the week. I take everything that happened during the week, release it on that mic. That's it.
It's therapy. Like therapy. There you go.
Exactly.
Like therapy. But I got 2 questions that I really want the audience to tune in for you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, first question is, what was the trials and tribulations in getting the podcast off of the ground? That's number 1. And then the second question will be, what advice can you give to the viewers on how to really get their own ball rolling to be alternatively successful? But let's do number 1 first. Trials and tribulations.
Trials and tribulations. Trials and tribulations. Trying to get everybody on the same schedule. Me, X, and Nikki, we all have kids. We all have different lives. We all have jobs. So trying to get us all together on a day to record at a certain time where, you got to drop your kid off to the babysitter and you got to be back by a certain time, or I got to do this meeting, or I got to do this. Trying to get all three of us in a room together is, like, at first it was cool, but, as time goes on, it's a little bit challenging because life changes, every day. Trying to find a studio, trying to find the proper sound I want, trying to find, like, the equipment I need, because we started at one studio. That didn't work out, so I was on the hunt for another studio. Luckily, I found one. Shout out my boy G. But it's a lot of work. Like, if it's something that you really want to do, you'll find a way. Like, it ain't nothing that's gonna stop us from doing what we need to do or what we want to do. Or at least me anyway. Like, there's a will, there's a way.
And last but not least, what is your message to the kids a bit, or not even the kids, I mean, it could be young adults, millennials in general, who really want to get their stuff up and running. I know you said there's a will, there's a way, but what extra key can you drop for them that might be valuable?
Don't be scared to fail. Like, it's been times where, like, I had this idea for a podcast before I actually started for about 5 years. And didn't do it because I thought I needed somebody else. When I didn't, when I really got into it, when I really researched it, I found I didn't need nobody else. I needed maybe a phone, a mic, some recording equipment, and myself. That was it. Like, you know how crazy it is to, like, watch other people do the shit that you want to do?
Right.
Like, just get off your ass and do it. Like, it's just no other, like, way to say, like, get off your ass and do it. Because you don't want to be you don't want to be sitting back with a bunch of, like, I wish I would have did, if I would have just did this, if I would have took this way. Nah, just, do your research, get off your ass and do it. Get off your ass and do it. That's it. Don't wait for nobody. People will come like, yo, I like what you're doing. They might want to be a part of it, or they might just want to support you. Those people will come with time, but just get the idea out there, just get the ball rolling. Like, I had to learn that the hard way, to stop sitting on my ass. Like, it's a lot of opportunities that pass me by just because I either was scared I would fail, or I thought I needed somebody, or I didn't have the money or the means to do it. Like, it's a will, it's a way. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way to do that shit. Whether it's make music, if you make music on a bullshit laptop with a bullshit mic, at least you're expressing yourself. You're making yourself happy. If you want to do a podcast, but you don't have the means to go to a studio like I do, buy some mic equipment, save up your money. Buy some recording equipment, recording in house. You find a way to do it.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Goddamn right.
All right, guys. Well, I want to say thank you so much for Domino. Thank you, my man, for coming on the show. You dropped some serious keys on how you started, how you finished, and everything in between. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys catch this episode along with all the other episodes that we have on the channel. And shout out to iDaydream.us, and shout out to Domino Effect, his channel himself. So make sure you check out his channel too on SoundCloud, all right?
Please.
Please.
Help me help you. Come on.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.